So Matt, this is the first time we're driving a Mini.
Yeah.
So what do you think of the Mini?
I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I was expecting it to be a lot smaller, but I guess this is the bigger version of Countryman, right?
Yeah, they've upgraded the size, so it's 13 centimeters longer and 6 centimeters taller than the previous.
This feels like a little mini SUV.
Yeah, it's considered an SUV.
Okay.
So this definitely makes a difference when you're looking for a family-friendly car, right? I feel like there's enough cargo space, and the car just feels spacious, mainly in the front. I'm not sure if I'd say in the back, but I feel like this car has a lot of space, and I really love the drive.
Yeah, I mean, the platform on this is very similar to BMW's X1 and X2, so you have that kind of like all-electric platform happening over here, but you can also get this in a gas version, right?
Right. The gas version is, I'd say, almost identical.
Yeah.
So
But
I
gas.
guess it's just, it depends on what you want, what you're looking for. But in terms of the interior and the exterior, they're very similar. You're just looking at the price point.
So does this feel like a BMW to you?
So yeah, it does definitely feel like a BMW to me. It has the same sounds, right? When you drive, it sounds like a BMW. When you reverse, it sounds like a BMW. And it just overall has that same feeling.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it drives well. Like, I don't have any complaints about the drive. Like, usually with some cars, I'll be like, oh yeah, it's too rough on bigger holes or small holes. This one just feels fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's good on both tiny potholes or bigger bumps. It just feels like well-rounded in terms of smoothness.
For sure. And what do you think about the steering wheel? So
Yeah.
it's supposed to give it a go-kart experience.
I don't know if I'd want my car to have a go-kart experience.
I think when they say go-kart experience, though, I think it means more like a zippy ride.
I guess.
So is it zippy on the road? Does it pick up speed quickly? Are turning corners easy and smooth? So I'd say yes to all of those things.
But taking corners felt great. Driving it is nice and smooth. Regenerative braking. You can put it into B mode, which will do it automatically. The display also allows you to hop into regenerative braking mode, okay? There's different like experiences, right? So, you know, there's a go-kart mode for that like zippy feeling. You get a cool little sound.
Yeah.
But there's like Vivid, there's Core, there's Trail, and each experience has their own little features, you know? Like Trail will have more data about the environment, right? Core will be more, I don't know, the essentials that you're used to driving with. And then of course, if the green one, the efficient one, will obviously try to allow you to have the most energy saved possible.
Here's your
And I love that go-kart noise. It sounds like a, I don't know, a budget Temu version of Mario.
But it also makes the go-kart sound as you're driving.
Right. Yeah, which is cool.
Nice.
I think it matches the vibe of the car. You
Yeah,
know,
I
like this
think so
car is
too.
very different. There's patterns all over the place. It's fun inside. Then you have this cool circular display.
And it's 9.4 inches, so it's a really good size.
That's what she said. But look, you know, the thing about this display, okay, it does feel a little smaller when you use Apple CarPlay because it ends up being a little square in the middle. So like sometimes I'm squinting a little bit to change things just because I'm getting older. But the design of the circularness is pretty cool.
Circularness.
Circularness, that's my new
Okay,
word.
that's a good word.
How did you find navigating the menus?
I found it easy. It wasn't always very responsive.
It's a little slow.
Yeah, it's a little bit slow at times,
Yeah,
but most of the time it's fine.
right. And I mean, it is showing so much. I like the way they display the music, but also just like getting in there and changing the heating settings. I found there's a little bit of a learning curve for someone who's coming from like a normal car to learn this interface, because this is your only screen unless you pay for the optional upgrade to get the heads-up display, right? So like this needs to be as fast as possible. Go, buddy. Oh, okay, fine, I'll go. But it's fine. It just, there's a little bit of a learning curve. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, so let's talk about the heads-up display. Do you like the way
Okay.
it reflects off of a piece of plastic rather than off the windshield?
So that obviously that's a cutback, right?
I mean, originally when you drove this car, you said you liked
I
that.
tell you why I prefer it. I
Okay.
prefer it because I find it less distracting. Like when you have the heads-up display mirrored through your glass on the windshield, it's more in your face. Whereas this, like, I don't need to be looking at it all the time. I can just kind of like
Look away.
tip my eyes down, or if I really want to look at it all the time, I can put my seat lower, right? So I find this to be slightly less distracting. But yes,
Yeah.
it is cheaper. It looks cheaper. So Andrea, what do you think of the cabin noise?
I think the cabin noise is minimal.
I think
On the highway, of
yeah,
course,
it's
you can
pretty
hear
good.
it more, but I think it's minimal.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the quietest cabin, but it's definitely better than a pre-2024 Tesla Model 3. I find our Mach-E to be slightly more silent inside, but overall, like, it's fine, right? It's fine.
Right.
The stereo system was okay. I don't think it's...
This is the upgrade. This is the Harman Kardon sound system, so it's an upgrade, which of course makes a big difference, right? The sound is superior.
I don't know. I didn't feel like it was amazing. You know, like I mean, on all fairness, I was mostly listening to podcasts while I was driving.
But you're like an old man and you don't listen to music like normal people. You're listening to podcasts and the news.
Okay, fine.
So you can't compare.
If you are talking about podcasts and news, not the best speakers for podcasts and news.
That's a bad.
So if you're 90 and buying this car,
if a sound system is good by listening to a podcast, you have to blast the music like a normal person. And you're not a normal person, so
I'm trying to appeal to senior citizens. Okay.
Okay.
That's my new.
This is not always a senior. This is not a senior citizen car.
Whatever.
At all. Okay.
Wheel.
Anyways, let's talk about like specs.
Wheel.
Like
wheel. What about the wheel?
Okay, so it's a go-karty wheel.
Yeah, but what about this little fill thing over
And
there?
I love the fact that they got rid of the third spoke on the wheel, and it's a fabric strap, and I love that. I think it's really cool and unique.
Okay, I like the way the wheel
unique.
feels. I like these little thicker handles over here. I think it's a good size. I like the buttons. They feel clicky, but I don't like the strap because if you're someone like who holds it like this,
you're not holding the spoke.
No, but if you're holding the wheel like this, it kind of cuts into your hand.
Who holds a wheel like that?
Some people do. I've seen people drive like this. I've seen it. And if that is you, then this will be an issue. I'm just saying,
Fine.
for those people out there.
I think it looks cool. It's unique. They're trying to stand out. Obviously, based on what you can see from the interior, they're trying to stand out, and they do a good job of that. And I think the interior features are really cool. The headspace, this is probably the most headspace out of any car I've ever driven.
Yeah, no, it's definitely
by far. Like,
feels roomy in here.
A 6'5" person would not hit the ceiling.
Yeah, and
so
I feel like I have enough visibility. The windows are big enough, you know. The side mirrors
this is my complaint though.
What's the complaint?
I feel like compared to all other cars I've driven, the door sits very high, which in turn gives you less window. Not that it's a big deal. It's something that really stands out to me. The window is small. And I feel like it could be bigger and the door could be a little lower.
I feel like it's proportionate to the size of the car. Like, I mean, I get what you're saying. You do sit lower.
I think because the car is taller, they ended up making the door taller and then the window is smaller.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It doesn't bother me, but I can see what you're saying. So maybe there's a few people out there that might find it annoying as well. But I don't know. I don't think it's a big deal. What do you think of the materials in the car?
The seats are beautiful. It's Veskin leather, so it's all man-made materials. It's not real leather, but it looks like it is. And I just really love the material.
I find the lumbar area, even though I have it all the way like back, to feel a little hard in the bottom middle. Okay, so they're comfortable, but they're not my favorite seats. Like, I feel a little, I don't know, claustrophobic.
I feel like they're very comfortable.
I don't know. They're okay.
I don't have any complaints about this.
7 out of 10 for the seats for me.
There is very little storage in the front. In the middle console here, you have very, very little.
Does this open up? This
opens up, but look at the space in there.
I mean, you have a little bit of, but you have little compartments. Like, you have your cup holders on the bottom, which is great, because if you remember, like in the BMW i4 review, the cup holders were like right against the dashboard, which was annoying. But
the cup holder location is perfect. You have space for your phone to charge. You have space for your sunglasses. This little storage unit here is good for like keys, money, whatever you have to hide. But that's it.
And you have one charging pad.
Normally above this armrest, you can lift it.
Yeah.
In most cars, and then you have storage under there too. But in this case, you don't. You can just slide your armrest forward and back,
which is nice.
Which is great. But there's no storage there.
Okay.
So
how about the glove box?
The glove box is, who uses a glove box anymore?
I do.
I mean,
if I have gloves
for your papers.
Well, it's big enough.
Okay,
it's big enough. And then you have whatever
storage in the doors.
2 Type-C ports over here if you need to charge things, and obviously this thing supports wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, which I connect to my phone instantly, and it worked beautifully. So Andrea, how fast can this car go?
This car can go from 0 to 100 in 5.6 seconds.
Okay, so it's not super fast, but it's fast enough.
I'd say that's pretty fast for this car. I think that's a pretty good speed.
Yeah, it's zippy. It's zippy. That's the way I like to say it.
364 pound-feet of torque.
313 horsepower?
308 horsepower.
Okay.
Which is good, and it has about 340 kilometers on a full charge.
In all fairness to BMW and MINI, because same company pretty much, is that they tend to underestimate the distance. So like even though it says 300 kilometers, it's probably more likely 350 or 360 that
Yeah.
I'm looking at right now, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Tesla tends to overestimate the distance you can
Yes.
go in your car, which is kind of misleading. So I'd rather be under misled than misled. This way I have, I don't know, I'm not really...
You get excited when you charge your car and you actually have more?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Right, exactly. Anyways, charging, you know, you can obviously fast charge this. How fast can you charge it, Andrea?
DC charging is under 30 minutes.
Wow, that's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty standard.
And on a
actually.
level 2, you have about, I think it's about 8 hours.
Yeah, that's normal.
So the back seat is just as comfortable as the front. You don't have a ton of legroom. Matt's seat is all the way back and it is comfortable for me, but someone that is really tall may not be as comfortable. You have 2 USB-C ports here. You have a little bit of storage behind both seats. A ton of storage in the doors, actually. Pretty surprisingly, you have more than I thought. Windows are very small, in my opinion. The doors are high, like I mentioned earlier. So I would have liked the windows to be a little bit bigger, but no big deal. You have so much headspace, more than any car I've probably been in. So someone that is over 6 feet would be very comfortable here, aside from the legroom, of course. You have, if I can get this out, 2 cup holders. You can't access the back through here, unfortunately, but no big deal. And that's it.
So this is what the side of the car looks like. I really dig the two-tone finish. You have a slate blue paired with a muted gold at the top. You can obviously choose different colors if it's available for you in your area. But I do like the size of the tires. These are 19 inches. Obviously you have to pay more with it with the more expensive package, but we got to do a door test, okay? I want to see the clunk on this guy. Okay, that sounds good to me. Okay, bad news. If you're hoping for a frunk with this guy, there's no frunk. All right, but it's fine. I mean, this car is meant to be compact. You have a lot of space in the back, and the back seat's bigger because you are driving a Countryman, but the pistons do feel good when you open it. The only reason to get inside of here is obviously to refill your windshield wiper fluid. Now, the back of the car continues with that SUV look because you are swooping down at the top. You have your hatchback as you would typically with most Mini-styled vehicles. Mini logo over here, Countryman going across with the S at the end. Windshield wiper in the middle. I would have loved it to be hidden underneath, but we can't have everything. You don't have a kick over here to lift up the tailgate, but the button is nice and big and easy to find, okay? And it feels solid when it's opening up. Now, obviously, you have pretty decent amount of space in here. This is not gonna be like a massive SUV back, but it's big enough to fit a hockey bag, which I've done already. I place my sticks through here and no problem getting to the rink. Now, you do have a little bit of space underneath here, but it's just big enough to hold your charging cables. If you do want to put the seats down, you can't do it from the back. You have to do it from the back seat. And there's a little latch on the bottom over here that allows you to do so, okay? If you pull it once, it moves a little bit, you pull it twice, and it can go all the way down. And this will obviously give you a lot more space to store stuff. So here's the bottom line. The MINI Countryman SE All4 was a lot of fun to drive, but it does cost $72,000 with all the upgrades that we have for this model. Now, obviously, if you want to save a little bit of money, you can get the gas version for $10,000 less, but there's something special about this electric vehicle. It feels like a BMW, it kind of drives like a BMW in a vehicle that's small enough and zippy enough to get around the city. Now, if you have any questions, let us know in the comment section down below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you guys in the next one.